Y'all didn't Marcel, that's usually your thing. Are you recording? You know I'll mess it up. You have to ask me. Okay. Good. All right. So this energy that we're feeling, right? If y'all came to class, if you didn't come to the solar eclipse class, everybody in here just about should have received the recording and y'all should have watched it. Okay. So y'all saw that we got a chance to go over some of those things, but this is the first lunar eclipse for 2023. We just had a solar eclipse last month that was in Aries, hanging over into Taurus, as well as the Mercury retrograde started on the 21st of April. All right. So those two things are also combined with the energy that you are currently feeling right now, which is the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. Okay. Now, anytime we are dealing with so much vibrational change, it just feels like, this is high time. Hey, Taju, and hey, Comfort, this is definitely a time where you'll notice people saying things like they want to give up. I don't want to be here anymore. You know what I'm saying? This is too much pressure. Well, most of that energy is coming from Scorpio, right? Scorpio's main job is to force you, or it'll ask you a couple times to change, okay? But when you do not listen, it stops asking and it starts forcing you. So the energy that we're feeling collectively is forced change, okay? Definitely with us also understanding that we are in the energy of Pluto dealing with Aquarius. So this is rebellion as well as the same time as forced change, okay? So this energy that we are feeling, one of the elements that I'm going to add to our class today, because I think it definitely can help everybody to process this energy a little bit better, and that is your Saturn dynamic, okay? And the Saturn is our responsibility, it's our discipline energy, and understand that when you are working really great on your Saturn dynamics and doing your structured discipline and responsibility, it makes your change easier, okay? So for class today, we're going to go over, let me pull up my sheets. We're going to recap and just briefly go over the eclipse in Aries and the Mercury retrograde. I'm not going to stay on it long. I'm going to just go back and retap on it again. We're going to then follow that up with the lunar eclipse and the full moon energy in Scorpio, the chart, what it looks like. So I'm going to walk y'all through, as I always do, how to be able to look at these things for yourself. Outside of it being on your time passages, there are apps that are here to help you to be able to, get in alignment to what's happening, right? By being able to know what sites are going to help you to see what these charts look like, okay? And then after that, we're going to go into your Scorpio placements and your Pluto placements, okay? So this is where you're going to need your chart. You're going to want to know, what this energy is, because even though the eclipse is tomorrow, you're feeling it today. So your homework is going to be for you to study that tonight, tomorrow, so that when this eclipse definitely go into this fullness, if you are not feeling it now, you will, okay? So we're going to go into that perspective. Then we're going to also talk about your Saturn sign and how your Saturn sign, depending on where the energy is, how the discipline of you processing into your Saturn and doing the Saturn work, especially now for the next 6 months, is going to support and help with everything that's happening with these eclipse energies, okay? And then we're going to quickly just touch on a major transit that's also happened this month. I talked about it last month, but briefly want to talk about it again, because our next class is going to be all about the Jupiter energy that's moving into Taurus. Y'all heard me say several times, if you want to know where the money at and how to get to the money the fastest, follow Jupiter. See where Jupiter is in your chart, listen to that energy, or apply that energy of where Jupiter is, and it will bring you more money and more finances and stability. So we're going to talk about that. And then depending on how much time I have left, I'll open it up for any type of questions. If you guys want to ask me about your particular chart, or your particular aspect, then we'll get into that, okay? So just kind of limit it to the amount of questions that you may have, so everybody else can ask questions, so we can, again, wrap it up, no later than, it's 6 my time, 7 most of y'all time. So I want to definitely be finished by 7:30 my time. So that's an hour and a half, okay? All right, so let's get into the recap.
Hey, Gigi, real quick.
Uh-huh.
I thought I have here in my notes. You said cancers. If I'm trying to get to if I'm trying to get to the money, it's where where Cancer is. I'm wrong.
Is where, do you have Jupiter in Cancer?
No.
What do you have in Cancer?
I don't know. I guess I wrote it wrong. I thought Cancer in general. You were saying.
No, what you probably heard me say, Cancer spends the money. So that's what you're talking about. Cancer's the spender of the money. Capricorn makes the money, Cancer spends it. So you probably wrote that down, is what you wrote down. But when we're talking about how to apply universal law to what's happening in the money dynamics, Jupiter is going to be how the money is going to come in. Okay. So it's okay.
I'm good.
You know, you still with me. You just getting started. So like I told you, you're going to have to, spend that time. And it's going to all start to make sense. There are certain planets and certain aspects that deal with money and money vibration. And then there's also different planetary alignments that also deals with the money aspect. Okay. He's talking about the Jupiter placement, I believe. We're talking about his Jupiter because right now Jupiter's in Aries. So Jupiter's not in Cancer. So I don't know I don't think he's talking about the actual Jupiter placement for himself because he said he don't have Jupiter. Where's your Jupiter in particular? Just put it in the chat. When we come to
Taurus. Taurus.
It's in Taurus. Okay. So you finna be in alignment to the finance. So when we get to Jupiter, talked about Jupiter shifting into the Taurus dynamic, I'm going to come back to you and use you as an example to what I'm talking about. Okay. All right. So let me share my screen. Great. Minimize you. Okay. So recapping. The last class we talked about solar eclipse in Aries. I asked you guys where your Aries energy was, and that Aries is ruled by Mars. And because Aries is ruled by Mars, it's all about pushing. Okay, so just think about Mars as the pushing planet. So it doesn't like to move slow. It's ready to jump feet head first. Okay, the reason why I say feet head first is because we jump with our feet, but of course Aries rule the head. So you know what I'm saying? Some of it may bump your head. You may bump your head a little bit, but Aries is all about let's getting on with it. So a lot of this energy that you are feeling as we move into the eclipse for tomorrow is because most of us have been procrastinating on our gifts, talents, and the things that we're supposed to be doing. Okay, you ain't been listening. And because you haven't been listening, when that solar eclipse came in first, it was the first point of the energy of this year where you started to feel a little irritated. Why? Because Aries also carry irritation. Okay, it gets irritated on certain things. So this whole energy was about what have you not been doing? Where are you stalled? Why are you stalled? What's causing your vibration to not want to make that move? So from that point, from the energy that happened on the April 19th and 20th, it's been slowly moving us into now the whole perspective of what are your fears? What's going on? Because a lot of it had to do with fears. A lot of it had to do with the fact of Aries also wants this support sometimes, okay? It wants support even when it's not doing its job. What is its job? To be the pioneer. So a lot of this energy that you just went through 2 weeks ago was about where you are resisting to move. What do you need to be very clear on your vision about? What do you need to pioneer? And what do you need to just start to make some moves? Okay. And that energy segue, not only did we come into that solar eclipse, right after that, it's shifting to Taurus. Okay, when it shifted into Taurus, the next day, Mercury moved into retrograde. Okay, where did Mercury move into retrograde? In Taurus, and it's still in, and we are still in Mercury retrograde. We're going to be in Mercury retrograde until May 15th. Whenever we have Mercury retrograde in Taurus, we definitely don't like that. Why? Because Taurus is our stability. Taurus is also a house that deals with finances or deals with money. And it's also about the luxuries of life. Okay, we experience the greatest things that we want in our Taurus placements. Okay, so wherever your Aries energy is where you need to do more, where you needed to push, where you need to pioneer, be clear on your vision, start to activate and initiate yourself, make the moves. And then when the retrograde of Taurus came in, it came in to be very clear about what is it that you don't have. Okay, what is causing you instabilities in your stability? What is causing you issues surrounding your luxury? What are you supposed to have when it comes down to this particular energy? Okay, I also told you that with this Mercury retrograde was going to come energies of feeling jealous, right? Looking at what other people got and feeling like you're supposed to have that because you put in the work. And I agree. Maybe you are supposed to have it, but it don't mean that you got to be jealous of that. It just means that you need to do a little bit more work and then yours will come through, okay? Or vice versa. Also noticing that people may be jealous of you too, right? Because they're looking at what you got, but they ain't looked at what you went through. So that's a collective energy that we're all going through. Is that vibration of having and what we're supposed to have and looking at what other people have versus what we have, right? All this energy. So your conversation in this Mercury retrograde from now until the 15th is to work on these stability things. Work on what you need to have, right? Focus on yourself. If you combine the energy of the solar eclipse along with this Mercury retrograde, then you'll see that using wherever your Aries placements are, I'm not going to go over those again. You have to go back and listen to your recording to see what those things are. But you're supposed to be studying your Aries placements, okay? And also studying your Taurus placements. In addition to studying your Aries placement, when I mean Aries placement, I mean what planets do you have in Aries? What planets do you have in Taurus? Okay. In addition to that, Aries rules the first house. So you're supposed to also be studying your first house as as in connection to Aries. So if you have no planets in Aries, that's fine because you still have Aries energy. Aries energy rules the first house, okay? So meaning studying your first house energy, first house in whatever, is also going to give you an indication of how to use the solar eclipse in Aries, okay? Taurus, if you have no planets in Taurus, Taurus is the ruler of the second house, okay? So if there's no planets in Taurus, studying what you have in the second house, if you got a second house in Gemini, studying your second house in Gemini is going to give you indication of how Mercury is also moving through retrograde in Taurus. Another thing that you could be studying for Mercury retrograde is your Mercury sign. What is your Mercury energy? How does the Mercury retrograde affect you? Whenever we're dealing with Mercury retrogrades, you're supposed to be studying all of your RE words. You're supposed to be remembering, revising, restarting, reconnecting. Every RE word that you can think about is what retrograde energy deals with. Okay, so as long as you're doing that and being quiet, shutting up. So even though we know Taurus likes to talk, Taurus can rule the throat chakra. Being quiet and listening. Now, this don't really matter what Mercury is in. You're supposed to be more quiet anyway, because it's about a period of taking things in. So you'll know how to reset and how to revise and how to remember and how to do all the RE words, okay? So understand that these two energies are already working. So even if you're not studying them, you're going through it anyway. You're going through the solar eclipse in your Aries placements. You're also going through the Mercury retrograde in your Taurus placements, as well as your Mercury energy is also doing some reevaluating of things. All right. Now, the next Mercury retrograde, when we come out of this one on the 15th, is going to be August 23rd. Okay. So be aware of all the retrogrades for this year. You got August 23rd, which is then going to end on September 15th. And then the very last Mercury retrograde is going to be December 13th through January 1st. All right. Those are the 3 retrogrades for this year. The eclipse energy is April 20th, May 5th, the one we're getting ready to talk about. Both of these eclipses, or all 4 of these eclipses, you can see April 20th eclipse is going to go from April 20th all the way into the solar eclipse on October 14th. So meaning that anytime we're dealing with eclipse energy is 6 months long. Say it again. Eclipses are 6 months long and sometimes longer, okay, depending on what they're actually dealing with. But they are at least a minimum 6 months long. So whatever you are looking at now, whatever you've been dealing with the solar eclipse in Aries, that energy is going to fully show itself in October, okay? The energy that we're dealing with May 5th, the lunar eclipse we're getting ready to talk about, that's in Scorpio, is going to fully show itself in November. So it means from now until then, you'll still be, things will be being revealed. That's what eclipses do. They help us to see things. The light goes out, the light comes back on. And when the light comes on, there's all kinds of stuff that you didn't see before. All kinds of things that you didn't recognize, okay? Y'all got me on the recap. All right. I'm going to assume that's a yes. All right, so let's get into the lunar eclipse and the full moon. All right, so one of the websites you need to be very familiar with, especially gonna be in class with me, AstroSeek, okay? The beautiful thing about AstroSeek is because you can literally see the moon phases, all right? You can go to the website and you can literally type, click on the moon phases, or you can go and type it in and it'll pull things up. So as you can see now, I got it. You can also change the time zone so it can show you exactly what, like minute to minute in your particular time zone. Right now I have it set to Mexico, right? So you can look at, it's basically letting us know the moon is not full yet. Moon is not full until tomorrow, but this is the energy of it. Right now, we are in the moon sign of Scorpio. So even though we're not in the full moon yet, we're getting to it. We're still in the moon sign of Scorpio. What happens? So for all the moon signs, people who have Scorpio as a moon energy, you're now doubling down on this energy. So in addition to the lunar eclipse being in Scorpio, if you have a full moon in Scorpio, this is also directly talking to you. It's also a full energy talking to you, okay? So when you want to be able to look at just the chart itself, the moon chart, so I mean, like if you want to go to this particular site, it's going to give you all the moon phases. So look at that. So no matter where the moon is, you want to know where the moon going to be next week, you can go to AstroSeek and it'll help you to pull that up, okay? So be very familiar. Use this site when you need to calculate, pre-calculate. If you got any trips coming up, you want to see what the energy is like, you can use this, okay? It's a very easy tool to use. If you just kind of want to know what the current energy is, at the top of the website, current planets, planetary positions is all there worked out for you, okay? So that's what studying astrology is even easier, because you don't have to go in. There used to be a time when we didn't have a internet, you had to do all this calculating yourself. So now people are doing it for you. So use these tools so you can start to pre-calculate and get in alignment of what's going on, okay? So again, you can go and look at any of the moon sign charts you need to and look at what the energy is going to be, right? So if we're going to look at the full moon, you'll see it says tomorrow, May 5th, full moon, lunar eclipse in Scorpio, and it's going to happen at 12:33. Now, this is set in military time, so 12:33 is noon, okay? It's when you will start to feel the fullness of this energy, all right? Now, this right here is also something that I like about this website, because y'all know me being a microbiologist, I love the body science and how it connects with astrology. It also gives you the organs and the energies that's associated with these signs, and it's telling you where you could also be feeling the energy, okay? So this can be in your genitals, can be in your anus, it can be in your urethra, and also your prostate. This is also energy. Now, why is that? Because Scorpio rules the sex organs, okay? All the things dealing with sex, and all these things are connected to your sex organs, right? So this is some of the things that you can be feeling starting today on the way into tomorrow as well, okay? Is this Scorpio vibration. And I like that. I like being able to see that. So if you want to look at the chart for this particular energy, of course, you just click on May 5th, and right on the side of it, you can literally pull up the chart, okay? The chart, again, is worked out for you. We click on the chart and look at the full moon energy for tomorrow. You can see this is what astrology really is a big wheel with all this stuff on it. And this is where the confusing part comes in, and people be like, my hand is up, I don't know what this is, I'm out, I check out. But you don't have to look at the wheel and get confused. You can look at everything that's on this right-hand side. What's on this right-hand side is also what's showing you in the box. That's the reason why when I tell y'all to bring y'all charts to class, I say, bring your cafe astrology chart or bring your time passages chart. Why do I say that? Because time passages and cafe astrology, especially cafe astrology, gives you, it just give it to you all in a box, okay? So that, because, you know, most of our brains is inside of a box. And that way, that's the way we can see. So if you don't understand this right here, because you don't know your symbols and you don't know these things, you don't know what degrees are, that's fine. All you gotta do when you click on the table and it takes you to this, just go to the right-hand side, okay? So then give you everything that's going on. So when we look at the moon energy that's dealing with Scorpio, that is the symbol for Scorpio. You'll see this is all the other things that's going along with it, okay? Now, when you start to look at, again, these angles and degrees and stuff, it's just kind of showing you stuff like squares, conjunctions, you know, or things that allow us to be able to see the pressure of how these things show up, okay? So when we look at this sun energy and we look at the moon energy, you can see that the Taurus energy is the polar opposite. So right now we're in the constellation of Taurus. And the moon energy is going to be, and it is right now in Scorpio, but when it's full, it's going to be opposite the energy of Scorpio. That means we are having a conjunction to those things, meaning that, opposition to those things. Opposition is the mirror reflection. So meaning that you're standing in the mirror, and if you're standing in the mirror, Taurus and Scorpio are having a conversation. What's the conversation? Well, I'm supposed to have this. Why don't I have this? What is going on? Why do so-and-so have this and I don't? And then the Scorpio vibration is saying, you tell me why you don't have it. The reason why you don't have it is because you're resisting to change. Scorpio deals with our changes, our transformation. It deals with the things that you need to let go of. But a lot of us don't want to change. We want to stay the same, but we want to still reap the benefits of change. It doesn't work that way. Okay, you have to give up the energy. You have to give up your excuses. You have to give up the pain. Why? Because Scorpio also deals with the hidden things or the secrets and all the vibration that comes along with that. I'm gonna pull up the Scorpio meme in a minute, and we're going to get into those things too. But I just want you guys to literally see the chart and get familiar with being able to pull these charts up when you need to look at them to see what the energy is and what's happening. But the conversation is a mirror reflection conversation. So if you want to really get into this thing, you want to get into the magic, because Scorpio also deals with occult and magic. Go to the mirror. Do some mirror work tonight. Okay? Go and talk to yourself. Tell yourself, I'm willing to get, universe, whatever I need to do to get these things that I know that I desire, another Scorpio keyword, I'm willing to change. I'm willing to let go. I'm willing to no longer fight with the universe as it relates to the things that I need to do. I'm willing to make those changes, okay? That's all you gotta do. Start talking the words. Start using your spells. There's a reason why, and I know they don't do this right now with kids anymore, but most of us are old enough that you remember spelling in school. They taught you spelling when you was a child, right? It ain't no coincidence that it's called spelling, okay? They taught you how to spell early on. They just didn't tell you the magic behind it, because if they did, you wouldn't have no use for them, okay? So use your spelling, use your words wisely. That's also the reason why you don't want to be talking crazy during this time period. No talking crazy, no joking crazy, okay? I don't care what the situation is. I don't care what the money looks like. I don't care what is going on in your life. Your words need to be, this is working out for me. It always works out for me. I always get what I want. Universe always lines me up with the lessons and the things that I need to make sure that this is going to work out for me every single time, all the time. Money always flows to me. Money loves me, okay? Change. I'm always willing to change. I'm always willing to let stuff go. If it's outdated and outmoded, I let it go. This is how you spell. When you're writing, you do the same thing. If you still write, if you still use pen and pad, I do. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's to write. So you can writing things out, write these words, create your own mantras and your affirmations during this time period. It is one of the most important things that you can do. And let me tell you something else, the most important thing you can do. When you're going through hard times and difficulties, the best thing that you can do is spell with your words. The best thing you can do when your money is low and be like, and say, money always come to me. The moment I have to use money, she come right back because she is just a magnet to my vibration. That's the best thing you can do is put it in. Why? Because when you are at your lowest, your magic is at its highest. I'm going to say it again. When you're at your lowest, your magic is at its highest. So when you find yourself in spaces when you feel low, this is the time to use your words wisely. What you don't want to do when you find yourself in a low point or dealing with things is say, I never get this. This never happens for me. I mean, everybody else, it happens for everybody else, but I don't know what's wrong with me, why I don't receive this, or why things are always happening to me. That's the worst thing that you can do with your energy, with your magic, is push it off and wonder why things are not happening on your time frame or why they're not coming yet. Well, you just spoke it off. You pushed it all to the back because it didn't happen on your time frame. Understand, patience is also one of the things that you have to also know, that you are working with the universal divine timing. And divine timing says that as soon as you get into alignment and everything is where it needs to be, nothing's going to stop it. It's going to come right on through. Okay. All right, going back to show you how to pull up the eclipse energy. If you want to know the eclipse energy is on the same thing, you can click on where you see full moons and aspects and lunation cycles, void of course, all those things. You can click on eclipse. Okay, you click on eclipse. Look at that. This is all the eclipse from this year all the way into 2028. Y'all ain't got no excuse. We have no excuses. We know what's gonna happen. You are directly always knowing what's gonna happen. Now, are you using it? No. Don't use it. We only use it when we're in trouble. The moment we get in trouble, we're like, let me call Gigi. Where's astrology? No, use it when you ain't. Use it when things are great. Okay, that means every day. Look at the alignment of it. All right. So did you see April 19th was when we had the hybrid solar eclipse. May 5th tomorrow, we're having the prenumbral lunar eclipse. Okay. Prenumbral just means that you can see it on the outside edge. It's like illuminating on the outside of it, but it happens so quick that you can miss it. All right. So, but it's definitely a lunar eclipse that's happening. All right. So let's look at the eclipse chart really quick, and then we're going to get into just some of the other stuff to break down. All right. As you can see, the eclipse chart and the full moon chart looks the same. Why is that? Because they're happening at the same time. That's why. You're having a full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio. That's what you're having. Okay. So I just wanted to show you how to be able to pull the chart up, because it's very important that you guys, again, start to pull, especially if you're working with me. You're going to be here working with me because I'm going to ask you every time, did you pull the chart? Did you look at it? Don't wait on me to always pull charts for y'all. What if I'm busy and want to just not do astrology today? Then I want to hold you accountable to that, for the fact that you also need to do this. And also make it important in your life, and make it important in your friend's life, and important in your children's life. Your kids need to know how to get to these charts. Your kids need to understand what this means for them. So when they start to date and get in relationships and want to get jobs and all this kind of stuff, they can predict this stuff, and they don't have to always run to their parents. They don't have to run to their parents for guidance. Now, I'm not trying to negate and take your parenthood away. I'm just saying this is adding to it. Your children can be powerful. Okay. All right, so now that we have arrived at this energy of the lunar eclipse today, y'all tell me what you got in Scorpio. Where your Scorpio placements at? Where is your Scorpio stuff? Type it in the chat. Where is your Scorpio stuff? That's Pluto and Saturn. Did I have any more other Scorpio stuff on here? Oh, that's Pluto too. Just keep typing. Where is your Scorpio placements? And meaning like planets and houses. Okay. If you've already typed it in, just look at what's on the screen. All right. So you can start to understand what we are going through. All right. Let's see. I got 14 people in here. It's 13. So one of y'all ain't typed in yet, or that may be me. All right. Put your Scorpio placement. I'm finna get ready to go down each and every one of them. and tell you certain things about it. Now, when we're dealing with Scorpio, we're dealing with the Scorpion, we're dealing with Pluto, and we're dealing with Mars. Pluto is the primary controller of Scorpio, but Mars also deals with it from a secondary perspective, okay? I just told y'all Mars is the push. Mars is the force. Mars is the get on with it, right? Well, Pluto is the, I don't mind. I don't mind breaking you out of this. I don't mind for Pluto to me is the biggest bully of the zodiac. Okay. Even though it's supposed to be the dwarf planet. You can call it your short man complex, call it whatever you want. Just know that Pluto comes along and says, you are going to have luxury in your life. And this is how I'm going to make sure you have it. I'm going to expose you. I'm going to push you out there. I'm going to tell on you, tell your secrets. That's what Pluto and Scorpio does. It tells you the things that you need to hear, even when you don't want to hear it, so that you can get on with the best of your life, okay? It is the ruler of the 8th house, which is the hidden spaces of your secrets. It is also sex magic and sex energy, okay? It is a water element. It is fixed. So sometimes it is fixed on what it wants. When Scorpio says that it wants something, it's going to get it. Why? Because it is fixed in that placement. I want this, and I'm not going to get off of this until I have that. Okay. Keywords: transformation. All right. So you'll see here, Moon and Scorpio. The Moon and Scorpio represent intense as well as profound emotional style. There can be obsessiveness, turbulence, dark undercurrents, okay? Still waters truly run deep with these souls. The occult, secretive, hidden dimensions of life and death, okay? Supernatural, witchy, depth of psychology, okay? Moods of mystery, even to themselves. Emotions are most intense, okay? If you are into tarot, the tarot that's associated with Scorpio is the death card. It doesn't necessarily mean physical death. It means death of the transition, meaning you got to go through something, okay? Now let's see what y'all placements are. Let's go into here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. All right. Okay. And for once in my life, I have been moving. Come on, then, Comfort. I've been watching you. You've been making the moves. I'm so proud of you, though, because, you would, as any Taurus would do, try to go back and forth. And wait a minute, I got to get more education. I got to get more. I got to do more. I got to sit down and eat more. No, you got to move. Okay. So you got, is Scorpio in the 11th house? So you saying what planets you got in Scorpio?
Yeah. I have Scorpio and Pluto in the 11th house.
Okay. You got so Pluto and Scorpio in the 11th, right? So Pluto and Scorpio energy is directly at home. All right. So everything I just said, matter of fact, let me go ahead and pull up Pluto too now. Pull up Pluto. Okay. Let me go down for a minute. All right. So you can see Pluto, transformation, death, power, rebirth, and evolution. One of the things that I see sometimes and I don't, whenever we're talking about Scorpio and Pluto energy, is also your fears. So you have two choices when we're dealing with Scorpio. You're going to either be scared and fearful, or you're going to be powerful. All right. When you got Pluto, and there may be a large group of y'all in here that do have Pluto and Scorpio. All right. Some of us are in a different generation prior to Gen X. Gen X has Pluto and Libra. Okay. But the generations after that, the 10 years after that, most of y'all got Pluto and Scorpio. So I'm talking to all of y'all that has Pluto and Scorpio. Okay. The energy of dealing with Pluto and Scorpio is a home energy, but it's also dealing with your fears versus your power. So you gotta have power. So wherever you feel scared right now, again, if it's money is low, if it's, you got to make some major moves that you're not sure about, whatever it is that's making you feel like you got anxiety or panicky or whatever the energy is, it's because it's asking you to step into your power. Stepping into your power is like, I'm ready to let this go. That's stepping into your power. Not being afraid to rip it off if you have to, okay? To reveal whatever needs to be done, to transform whatever needs to be transformed to get there, okay? This is the energy of Pluto and Scorpio. It's not taking no for an answer, because if you resist the power, guess what you're going to live in? Fear. Okay, now because hers confidence in the 11th house, this has everything to do with the house of friendships. Okay, and it also has everything to do with the future. The 11th house rules the future. It's the house of the Aquarius energy. So it's the house of friendships, but it's also the house of what does the future look like? So we're talking about just specifically comfort. We're talking about her not being afraid to change, letting go of the fears, stepping into the power, especially as it relates to maybe not being afraid to let go some friend dynamics that may be of a strain or an energy, right? But also not being afraid to go into the future with things. She has to lead the future. She has to be not afraid to see herself in the future and what this looks like. You can't be afraid of it. So all this AI stuff that's popping up that people, oh my God, I'm afraid of, or what's going to happen, it's going to be beautiful. Why? Because we tired. I'm tired of having to do everything. I want automation. I want some robot to come in here and do certain things for me. Why are you resisting that? Are you going to be the one to do everything? No, you can't do everything now. So if you can't do everything now and everybody else don't want to take these jobs either because they're also tired, then you're going to need what we created. We collectively created this. That's the future. Okay. Having cars that drive themselves, that's the future. Are some of them still going through some technical issues and we need to fix them? Yes, but it's still the future. Okay. So understand that you got Pluto in Scorpio. This is you gotta step into the power. So your energy tomorrow is going to be that you're going to be faced with your fears and you're going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to say, oh my God, this is scaring the fuck out of me. Oh, okay, I got it. I'm in my power. So I'm letting it all go. Universe, I'm ready. Bring the changes on so that I can make sure that I'm living in the dynamics I need to live in. Okay. Venus in Scorpio. Hey, Erica. Venus in Scorpio energy has everything to do. Now, we know that's part of your love language, right? But because we are specifically talking about this eclipse energy, right? That's what I specifically want to talk about. This is about you not being afraid to change the dynamics of the relationship, okay? Let it go. Whatever has happened in the past, in these relationship energy that's stopping you from trusting, which is also something that goes along. When you are living in the fear side of Scorpio, you don't trust shit. So meet a Scorpio who has been through a lot. They don't trust nothing. You understand me? I don't care what it is. They are fine-tooth, going through everything meticulously because they don't trust nothing. Okay. So this is about your trust. Are you trusting come off mute for a minute, Erica. Are you in a relationship right now?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Why are you not in a relationship right now?
I haven't met anyone I like. I'm really picky. My Jupiter's in Virgo.
Okay. So outside of we're gonna get to your Jupiter in a minute. Outside of the in Virgo, the relationship dynamics from the last one that you were in, you're still carrying something from that. Okay. Still carrying some heaviness from that. Let it go. Release it. So this energy, as we move through this dynamic of this next 6 months, I want you to look at the beautiful things that have happened to you in your relationships. All the negative things that may have happened and may have transpired, they were a part of your transformation. They were also a part of your boundaries, which is also another thing that Scorpios need to have. So wherever you got your Scorpio place, you also working on boundaries, better boundaries, okay? So working on those better boundaries is going to prepare you for the energy of ushering in a new relationship. Are you picky? Yeah, you could be picky, but you also don't trust nothing, okay? When it comes down to love. So it's allowing yourself to trust. And when I say allowing yourself to trust, is looking at the dynamics of the relationship habits that you've had and where you may have not necessarily had a clear boundary that may have caused something to happen in the relationship dynamic that you like, I ain't doing that no more. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna just be by myself. Change your language, okay? So if you want a relationship, instead of saying, I'm picky, that's why I don't have a relationship, say, hey, I'm ushering in what's for me. I'm ready for the relationship, especially if you're ready. Now, if you're not ready, you still working on your healing, kudos to that. I'm with you on that. But if you are ready, change the vibration of saying that you're picky to universe, send me what is for me. So when it shows up, you clearly know it. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right.
What about it being in the 9th house? Does that like I forgot to put that in there. Like
Your Venus and Scorpio's in the 9th?
Yeah.
9th house is a good place for it to be in, meaning like that's the whole thing of the Scorpio house. Not Scorpio. Sagittarius ruled the 9th house. So since Sagittarius ruled that house, as long as you have a great spiritual practice for yourself, then when this energy starts to come in, it's only going to add to that. Meaning when you are ready, it's going to add to that. It's not going to take anything away from that, but it's also can be a relationship of travel, right? Learning with your partner. The 9th house rules learning and higher learning and being able to have sapiosexual conversations with your partner. So this is all the markers of how you're going to know when he shows up, you know what I'm saying? Or when they show up. I'm not going to generalize it, but when they show up, you'll know it. You'll know it because the intellect is going to be there. They're going to possess a passport, be ready to move and travel. They're going to be teaching you things. You're going to feel like it's something that you can totally be grounded inside of. It's going to feel safe, right? Why is it going to feel safe? Because sometimes that Scorpio energy, again, don't trust. So it don't feel like it's going to be safe. But when you start to say the words, this is my safety. This relationship is going to provide me safety and intellect and movement, and we're going to travel together and learn together. Then these are going to be the markers that's going to show up. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. You got Scorpio moon. So did you see what I said about Scorpio moon, Monica? I didn't hear you. You saw? Okay, did you hear what I said about the Scorpio moon part of it? All the stuff I just read on here is a Scorpio moon energy, okay? So this is the energy of you. So it's doubling up. So it's not just the eclipse energy. You also dealing with the emotions of it, all right? So watching your emotions as you go through these shifts, watching the energy, right? Being mindful that what is going on is bringing you into power. You're also probably going to feel very in tune and very intuitive during this time period, right? So watch your dreams. The things that are coming up in your dreams are giving you indications of ways in which you can change and harness more of this power. Okay. Now I talked about the Pluto and Scorpio dynamic for everybody, though everybody with the Pluto and Scorpio, y'all are that generation. Okay. You coming here to make sure that, you know, you help us change, right? As a collective. But what comes along with that is understanding that you got to be able to choose power. If you don't choose power, fears will show up. And Lilith is all sex, wild energy, okay? So I mean, your sex energy is probably through the roof right now. You probably a hornets on the wood.
Listen. Oh, I forgot to add in there. It's in the 5th house for me.
Okay, 5th house. So that means what are you doing as far as being on the stage? Are you hiding? What's your social media look like?
I'm just getting back into like just posting and things again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is having a clear vision again, choosing power, having a clear vision and getting out of it. Clear vision is what I'm talking about, the Aries part of it. But you're getting back into it, getting back into your posting of it. So it's allowing yourself to be seen. 5th house is being seen. Leo rules the 5th house. Leo is all sun, all vibration of saying, hey, come on out here, let us see. So it's the show, right? So what do you have to show us? What do you want to show us? What is important to you that it can also be something that we want to join you on, okay? Creating your audience as it relates to this. So if you got some type of story to tell, it don't even matter if it's a dark story. You know what I'm saying? It could be abuse. It could be change, transformation, how you got over something. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to show us your darkness. Or be afraid to show us maybe some things that you've gone through. Everything ain't supposed to be all love and light. We got to get out of that, okay? So as you start to share, make sure you share some truth and maybe some things that could be a little bit difficult to swallow, but it's something that we need to be revealed about, okay?
Okay, that really helps. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Leslie, Scorpio in the 8. Scorpio in the 8, Uranus and Scorpio, stop being scared, okay? Break into that thing, all right? So again, can I see some ass, please? Can you show us? Y'all, most of y'all don't even know Leslie got a nice thick ass, okay? You know why we don't know it? Because she don't share it. She don't tell us nothing. She hiding over there in them clothes. Where you at? Hold on. I can't see you. Where your face at? Where Leslie at? Is she hiding again? Where you at, Leslie?
I think she's stuck. She's there, but it's stuck, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I see her face, but it's stuck.
Uh-huh. I don't see her face at all. It's just a
But
black.
I hear her in the room giggling and laughing though. I hear her though. She hear you.
Because
She'll be
she's
right
such
back.
a creep. She's
She'll
such
be
a
right
creep.
back.
She loves watching everybody else. She like watching everybody else ass
Yep.
and watching
Yep.
everybody else
Yep.
stuff. But
Yeah.
come on. Okay. Can you please talk to us about some stuff that's dealing with you coming out? I would love to see you talk to us about, you know, how to have a sexual relationship with someone who has disability. Okay. While showing us your ass though. I'm not dismissing that. Show us your ass, show us something else. Stop being in hiding. Come out of there. Okay. Again, we all see it at Kinked Up. But Kinked Up is just one community. All right. This is you not being afraid to really put it out there. All right. Okay. All right, Samaya. Pluto in the 4th house. You already heard me what I said about the Pluto energy, right? Pluto and Scorpio. 4th house is the family. And you've been doing it, okay? If y'all are not familiar with Samaya, she is the owner of Sexual Essentials. She has her podcast out, and not only do she has a podcast out, not just another sex podcast, she has been sharing her story, you know what I'm saying? And her story is about the energy that she's gone through within her family dynamics, right? I also have 4th house Scorpio, which also talks about my family issues and those kind of things, right? So anytime you got Scorpio in the 4th, it just talks about you may have grown up in a not so loving environment in the house, you know what I'm saying? Or it could have been loving, but it was just a lot of turbulence going on, a lot of things that may have happened in that childhood, you know what I'm saying, that you have to overcome. And part of the overcoming of it is also exposing it, okay? I exposed my relationship with my mom. Built a whole course around it, okay? So this is also that energy, getting it out, okay? So if you haven't watched her podcast, you can go back and watch the podcast. So Samaya, for you, this eclipse energy is going to bring up some things with your parents, okay? Now, you and I already talked about it. I know you miss them dearly, but you're also going through some healing as it relates to that. So this eclipse is going to bring that up, okay? It's going to bring up the energy that you miss them, but that you've also created healthy boundaries around your healing as it relates to that, and how you're going to do more healing. This is a more healing vibration for this, okay? And doing more with it as it relates to all the work that you've done already. And then of course, you know what I'm saying, it's your son's birthday, so you're going to be celebrating that energy. So recreating what motherhood and parenthood looks like, right? Giving your son the environment that you didn't have. All of these things are going to come up. And as they come up, you should be in a happy space because you've done an amazing job with the work that you've done, transforming this energy into something that you would have loved to have when you were a child, but you didn't have, okay? So be in gratitude of these changes, but the energy of missing them and the energy of dealing with them is definitely going to come up in this eclipse energy. All right. Scorpio in 11, I told you comfort. Okay, climax, moon and ascendant. All right, so Scorpio moon, climax. Watch your emotions, baby. Okay, men, you just talked. Stay on top of your emotions. Okay, so meaning as these things come up for you, as you're feeling the shifts and the changes and all that kind of stuff, you know, of course, the same thing, especially surrounding motherhood. We talked about that and the energy of dealing with all the vibrational stuff that you've had to overcome. This is a time for you to choose power, not choose fear or clam inside because you feel like you can't control the energy. Yes, you can. This eclipse is going to definitely illuminate a lot of the emotional energy. So it's going to make you feel witchy and supernatural and all these things. It's a good time to get in your magic bag. It's a good time for you to conjure, okay? Conjure the things that you need. If it's something that you feel like you are lacking during this time period, use that moon energy to do it, okay? Because it's also in your ascendant, and your first house is going to charge your sexual energy too. So when you are out in these streets, baby, over the next couple of days and next couple of weeks, you're going to look like sex moving. Okay. So understand that that's what it is. What do we love to do when we're going through heavy transitions like this? We want to fuck, period. We want to have sex. All right. Why? Because this allows us sometimes to avoid the feelings that we're having. You could choose to do with it what you want to do with it. I'm just saying be mindful. Be mindful of your choices when it comes down to your sexual energy. Okay. All right, Sherry, Uranus and Scorpio, same thing I just told Leslie, come out of there, come out the box, okay? Step back into that sexual exuberance that you had, wearing your sexual energy, okay? In the second house means that the more you tap into coming out of fears and moving more into power, the more it's gonna charge your money house, okay? The more it's gonna charge the stability. The house that rules Taurus is gonna charge all of that. It's gonna give you more to that energy, okay? Monica, 5th house. Yeah, I just told you on that one. Okay, Scorpio in the 12th house, letting go of the past. Okay, not being afraid to move through that energy. 12th house is also where we find ourselves stuck sometimes. Okay, why? Because it's the house that Pisces rule, and sometimes Pisces love attachment, and it also loves saving everybody else. Okay, this ain't about saving everybody else. Save yourself. Okay, make sure you were focusing on saving yourself and letting go of the things that happened in the past. So whether that was dealing with siblings or dealing with anybody in your life that you've had some problems with or whatever, know that the 12th house also shows us what we are bringing in from the last life. Just like the South Node shows us this, showed us the 12th house show us this too. So not being afraid to just let go, get on with it, let it. Separate yourself from it, okay? By literally using your words. I take all the things that I feel like I'm attached to and I release the attachments. I'm not here to save anybody but myself. And in saving myself, I can only be an example for everybody else. So I'm not here to save you. I'm here to show you an example of saving yourself, okay? All right, Taju, Scorpio, Uranus. So same for you, breaking free, Taju, okay? So wherever you are feeling like you are stuck or having some type of blocks as it relates to definitely fears versus power, this is the energy that's going to show up. Where are your fears? What's going on with your fears, okay? Meaning like, what are you scared about, right? And whatever you feel like you are stuck or scared about, it's time to break free of that. Third house has a lot to do with your environment, okay? So meaning this could also be the conversations that you have with your friends. Third house rules the mental mind, okay? It's ruled by Gemini. So it means like when you're in a room, in a group of people, and if they in there talking about some shit that is not you anymore, right? So let's just say you used to be, you know, a person who only talked about, you know what I'm saying, hood shit, right? Let's just say you that person, and you still have friends that all they want to do is talk about hood shit, but you know that you've grown from that. You're moving into other areas of your life that makes you a powerful person. You have to challenge these conversations. You have to offer new information. Hey, have you ever thought about this? Have you ever watched this? Have you ever not being afraid to be the one to change the conversations or offer new things to the conversation? Why? Because if you don't, it proves again that this is a place where you are afraid. You're afraid to allow people to see a new light in you or new way in you in which you have transformed certain things about your vibration, okay? So during this eclipse energy, it's going to show you or bring up the spaces where you may be afraid to show the things that you're going through, the tools that you are using to become a better person. Don't be afraid to challenge that, all right? All right, BPM. Okay, so guys, it's Mars and Pluto. Okay, so I said Pluto already, Pluto and Scorpio. So Mars is the other ruler of Scorpio. Okay, so this whole energy is about change and also about movement. Okay, so me and you talk all the time about how sometimes you got to bump your head. So this is about why you got to bump your head. Why can't you just make the change? Okay, what is stopping you from making the change? And sometimes it is the being afraid to maybe make the wrong move, right? This is where Mars comes into play with that. It's like, okay, I know I need to make this move, but I'm gonna just do this again or try this again, okay? So this is about not being resistant to the power that it's going to take for you to make these changes so that you can make all the moves necessary to make your life what it needs to be, okay? Again, Scorpio's job, Pluto's job is to get you to luxury. So when you are feeling like we are losing things, we're not. These things don't belong to us anymore. We're on another level. So when we get to the next level, that means all the stuff that we had before is no longer in existence. We don't need it anymore. Because the more we try to hold on to it, it only causes us even more stress. It causes even more issues. And it also binds your feet to where you can't make the moves. Okay. All right. Takesha says moon. We just talked about the moon. We just talked about Pluto. I just talked about climax, and I said about the first house. And I talked about Lilith, and it's also in the 12th house. So all of that I talked about. You got any questions about that, Takesha? Did you hear what I was talking about as it relates to you two? Can you come off mute for me real quick and just say yes or no? All right, maybe you're not in the place. I'll see. I'll get down to it. All right, I went through you, Erica. Marcel, Scorpio Sun, Uranus, and 11th house. I already said Uranus, and I already said 11th house. Are you aware of how this is? Like you said, you're already going through a water cleanse, which I think is great, right? You're already Persian. So just know that this Uranus energy that you and Leslie are going through collectively, you know what I'm saying, has to be that you are choosing to come out of the box. You're choosing to release the energy, not stay hidden. Come out of there, okay? 11th house is all saying what I told Comfort. It's the house of friendships and the house of the future, okay? So meaning that the more you come out, the more you allow yourself to not be scared about coming out and being more powerful, the more it's not only going to help your 11th house dynamic, which is the people that are around you, but it's also going to allow you to see more of your future, more of what you can offer in this new age as it relates to that, okay? You got me?
Crystal clear.
All right. In the 7th house. Okay, Carmen, you said and it's in the 7th house. So 7th house is also, you want to say something?
I just had a quick question. So I was trying to understand really the difference between our chart that we read off of versus looking at time passages, which puts it in two different places. So I get confused.
So when you
quick.
say a chart that you're looking at, what are you looking at that you just tried to show me? What is that on?
Okay, so our actual chart data, like, age, sex, location, date of birth, whatever. Not I guess not today's chart, but like your birth chart. I don't know the difference.
What did you just hold up and try to show me? What is
this?
that?
This is the chart that
2023 chart, the transit
Yes.
chart, right? The
Yes.
transit chart is different. The transit chart is also calculating in things of what you are going through as it's moving through, right? So is that
Okay.
where you got the 7th house dynamic from?
No, so like for instance, it says even on the chart that you gave me, it says like let's see, Uranus, Scorpio in the 7th house, and then in 8th house and cusps. So it's a lot of information here. I don't know.
Yes. So and that's from the transit chart. Is that what you're looking at now, right? Or what are you
Transit chart is the one that you gave me, correct?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So your transit chart is the seasonal energy that has a lot to do with some things that are shifting now. So go back to your time passage chart just for this.
Okay.
So your time passage chart, it says it's in the 7th house.
Am I looking at my current chart or am I looking at my birth chart?
Your birth chart.
Okay. So Scorpio in Uranus.
In the 7th
and
house.
it says 8th house.
8th house. So that's again, house of magic. So everything I just said to you, the magic energy. Now the transit chart that what you're looking at now that we're doing our seasonal thing on is also telling you that it's also hanging into the 7th house, which means this is the relationship dynamic. So you're also going through a clearing and an energy of clearing out the 7th house energy so that when you start to move into in other relationships in the future, you're also looking at what needs to be cleared up. What do you need to transform and let go of? What are some of the things that you may have gone through, right? That you're still holding hostage in your mind that is preventing you from stepping into a new relationship, stepping into love in a different type of way. So that's also going to show up as well. When we look at the birth chart, it's giving you the starting points. The transit chart is showing you how much you come and also what you're working on. So for homework, which we already talked about this, you're going to work on it from the 7th house and the 8th house perspective. The 8th house is what I told you earlier when I said, get in your magic bag, right? Do what you need to do for the magic perspectives of it. So work the energy, see what's coming up fear-based wise, and move that energy into power. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Julius, Pluto, Venus, and Scorpio rising. So Pluto, we talked about. Venus, I just got through talking about too. So the whole Venus and Scorpio energy thing is also, again, looking at how you have this. Venus is love language, okay? And because it's love language, is how we love. So it's looking at the energy of how you may have loved, right? And how you need to, again, clear up some of that stuff, clear up some of that energy from ways in which you've shared yourself in these dynamics of these relationships, so that it is not causing you to harbor on things where you are not moving in power. You're moving in, well, this happened to me last time, so I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Now that's different from boundaries. You got to have boundaries. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the energy of holding yourself hostage to your past dynamics. Okay, so this is releasing, and we've done work, we've done ritual work on this or whatever. So this is just the revisit. So look at this eclipse energy of what's showing up now that's preventing you from saying, I can move on this, or I can do this, you know. And if it's fear, then check the fear, you know what I'm saying, and put power in the places where the fear is. Scorpio rising energy is what I just said to who else? Somebody else told me they had Scorpio rising. Sex energy is off the chain, okay? Meaning, because why? It's sex energy walking. That's what Scorpio rising is, especially right now. You know what I'm saying? So feeling that energy, allowing yourself to use that energy. You know, again, Scorpio is all magic. It's all, you know, sacred sex energy. It's all this stuff. So just using it as best as you can to manifest, or using it in your magic perspectives of it. But again, just watching yourself as it relates to the intensity that's going to come along with it, not being irritated or all those things. And this could definitely increase your intuitive ability, you know what I'm saying? Dreams off the chain, seeing all that kind of stuff is also how this energy can show up for you. Okay. All right. Ooh, Pluto in Scorpio in the 9th house. Okay. We talked about it in the 9th house. Mercury in Scorpio. Okay. Conversation. Watch your words, Candace. Your words are powerful. Okay. Meaning that what you say is extremely important. You casting spells every time you open your mouth. And especially with this transit, because we're in this transit, what you say now is even more so important. So just watch what you say. If you say something that you know you don't want to produce, go back and change it. Okay, I don't, no, that's not what I want. Universe, this is what I really do desire. This is my highest desire. When y'all are using spell work today, tomorrow, the next couple of days, use desire. Scorpio speaks in language of desire. I desire this. This is my highest desire. This or something greater in my highest desire. Okay, use desire as your words. All right. What you saying hi about, Marcel? What that was about? You and Erica.
Oh, that was back when you was talking about Leslie. That's all.
Okay, why are you laughing? I'm talking about Leslie. I'm talking about you too. I don't know what you laughing about. Ain't nothing funny. You got the same thing.
But I ain't got to show my ass. That's the only.
Oh, that's what you laughing about. Listen, sure. Not Marcel talking about yep. Okay. Comfort and help me. She said I have it in my 11th house. Yes. Okay. That is your listen. Get on over there, you in comfort, and work through that thing. Okay, because it needs to be worked through.
That is so funny. I just text Candace, like, Candace, we gonna talk about this when we get off the call, because I was reading this in your energy this past weekend. And let me tell you guys, Candace put on a beautiful,
oh my God.
she put on a very beautiful mushroom tea ceremony, and she got out there and she showed them people her gift. She really had something to offer us.
Come on.
And I was scared as hell. So that 11th house, let me be clear, is about stepping out. Did I hear that right?
You did it. You just did it. You just did exactly what was requested. Okay. So now guess what? You can't stop. You can't do it one time. You have to now.
Tell her again. Tell her again.
This is a part of, that's what I mean when I say the future. 11th house is the future. So you got a chance to see it. You broke free. You did what you needed to do. You showed up in a group setting. The 11th house, again, is all age of Aquarius. So in this age of Aquarius, you and Comfort came together to offer a shroom ceremony, a tea ceremony, okay? In this tea ceremony, you brought people into the knowledge of themselves. So you don't get to stop. Sorry. You thought you were going to do it one time and sit down? Is that what you thought?
No, I ain't thought nothing.
Oh.
I ain't think anything.
Okay. So that means when
I'm
you
just
and
here.
when you and Comfort sit down and have y'all conversation, y'all need to be sitting down planning when is the next one. What else? And not only when is the next one, what else can y'all add to it? What other futuristic
Absolutely.
element can you bring into this? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You got it. Okay. All right, let's see. Correct. Understood. Okay, I heard you. All right. What about Pluto in the 9th house? Okay. I'm guess I'm getting to the messages later. Does Pluto in Scorpio in the 11th house change my eclipse energy if my Pluto was in retrograde when I was born? Does Pluto in Scorpio in the 11th house change my eclipse energy if my Pluto was in retrograde when I was born? No. What do you mean change your eclipse energy? Well, that's the part that's hanging me up.
I mean, like me being born in a Pluto retrograde, but still Pluto in the 11th house. The eclipse energy you just gave me for the 11th house, is that different because of my retrograde?
If you was working with another astrologist, yes, they'll tell you, oh, you have a hard time changing and you're going to have a hard time doing this. They're going to only talk about your hard times. Not over here. We don't talk about hard time. We apply it. So no, all it can do is you can maybe feel some resistance when it comes down to it. But because you are operating in your tools, it's going to be something where like the fear can pop up, because again, when you was born in the retrograde of that dynamic, it just, when you think about birth chart, on the day you was born, I want you to look at it more so as what your family was going through, right? So your family was going through a Pluto retrograde, right? Because you was a baby. So how could you really be going through it, right? You feeling the energy, but you're not really going through it. But your mom and your daddy they were going through the energy, right? So because they were going through that energy, it may have put a strain on the dynamic of the family energy. It may have put some fears. Again, there was some fears surrounding your birth. Something happened, okay? And because it was something happening as you was being born to your family dynamic, your mama birthing you and you already know the story of your parents, right? So, and how that whole energy showed up. So a lot of this energy is what you had to then deal with. So when we're talking about now, how do you use it moving forward? Now, wait, what'd you say? Showed up and showed out? What'd you say? Just say comfort. So that whole energy.
Oh, they Candace came and showed up.
Yeah, you showed up. You showed up and showed out. You kind of revealed some secrets. That's what you damn sure did. You was like, it's some secrets going on in here, and I'm the secrets. I'm showing where the secrets lie. Okay, so now as you move forward into that energy, when we're talking about this eclipse energy, it's just that whole vibration surrounding it. So could it change your eclipse energy? No, it's not going to change it. If you allow it to, anything could be in allowance of it. But because you have the tools of knowing how to use it and making sure that you're now moving this into the 11th house perspective, meaning that this energy is telling your story, is very important to this group. And I know you already doing that. You already doing that. How do I know it? Because we got 5th house Venus. And because we got 5th house Venus, that's all your story. So again, going to another astrologist or somebody that's going to show you where your problems lie, but not show you how to use the problems to transform your bloodline. Yes, but over here, we're actively using this energy. Okay. So if you allow it to make you regress and go back into a space where, you know what I'm saying, of, oh my God, I need to go into hiding. Yeah, but you can't do that over here. So the answer is no to that. All right.
Okay, thank you. Because I definitely blocked Antoine again today. So that let me know, bitch, I'm on the right track.
You and Antoine, baby. When I tell you that right there is a past life in itself, definitely a past life in itself. Okay. And Dove is a part of it. It's definitely a part of this past life relationship energy that y'all have had. You know what I'm saying? But congratulations. I'm glad you blocked him. You know what I'm saying? And that you are moving into a space of allowing yourself to have what you're supposed to have when it comes down to relationship. He was definitely a part of the energy that you needed to see yourself and to see the energy of how your parent energy showed up. You know what I'm saying? This whole dynamic between your mom and your daddy, right? And this abandonment energy. All of this energy is what he came to reveal. But now you're working in it. You're moving through it. You're revealing yourself. And as you're revealing yourself, you're helping other people to reveal themselves too. So you're doing the work of the bloodline. Okay. All right. Yes. All right, Tasha, you said I have a question. Yes, sir. How can I help you with your question? And then we're gonna move into, I think, Saturn.
Hey, so yeah, the question, I found the notes. Remember, I was confused about the money, where the money was at.
Uh-huh.
So I see here it said where I have Capricorn, I can have multiple businesses.
Yes.
Where Cancer placement is, you nurture yourself and it draws the money.
Yes.
Wherever I have Cancer in my chart is where I can have multiple businesses.
Yes, where you can function in multiple businesses. Cancer is is that dynamic of being able to function in multiple perspectives, but not if you're not nurturing yourself, right? So it's that nurturing.
Yeah.
So as long as you're nurturing your energy and giving back to yourself and feeding back into yourself, this is going to draw the money from Capricorn dynamic. So when we had that conversation, I'm talking to you about how Capricorn and Cancer actually coexist together. Okay, so don't let that confuse you with this Jupiter conversation we're about to have. Okay, don't be confused by that. Keep it in mindset what we said, but now we're going to move into another level of how you're going to pull it in. Okay.
Okay, let me ask you something. So let's say for work, I hit a wall for work, right? But what it's saying here, you're supposed to nourish your relationships and community and friendships.
Uh-huh.
So speaking to one of my good friends a couple days ago, it helped with work. It helped with the money. Am I understanding that right?
Yeah.
Like
What you just went out. Say the last part again.
No, I said from speaking with my friend, which was like so generic, so nourishing that relationship, checking in on him and him checking in on me. Organically, he was able to help me with some work stuff, which would help with income.
Yes. Was your friend happen to be a Capricorn?
Oh, okay. I gotta ask that question. He's an Aries, but
I'm sure
maybe
he probably also have some Capricorn placements. So yes, that's all a part of it. If you felt like you was nurtured by that conversation and you felt like you was also offering him a space to also be nurtured, it's just bringing in the vibration of it, right? So we're just talking about how energy can be used when it comes down to using the money placements or using Capricorn, which is the energy that generates the money and the accounting and the finance, and the Cancer energy pulls that money to itself, okay? So that's the vibration of that energy. But again, I want you to hold that and keep that. But when we talk about this Jupiter energy in Taurus, it's going to pull a whole nother level and add a whole nother level to what you're talking about now. Okay.
okay.
So that wall at work, don't worry about that wall at work. That wall at work, we're getting ready to bust through that. That's going to be very clear. Like I said, I'm using you as my example for the Jupiter conversation. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. So let's talk about Saturn. Okay. I made a post today telling people that one of the things that I have always been resistant to in my life is working out. Okay. And meaning that I will always start working out and something will happen. You know what I'm saying? I go on a trip or whatever. Whatever you want to put the excuses in. I don't care. There will be some excuse that will cause me to not stay consistently disciplined to my working out. But it's in my second house. Okay. My Saturn is in Virgo in the second house. And because my Saturn is in Virgo in the second house, the more I tend to my body and attend to my mental health, the more money it draws me. Why am I saying money in particular? Money, stability, all the things deal with the second house. I just like focusing on money because I like the money word. Okay. But I recognize that when I am staying disciplined, when I am minding my time, staying on top of the tasks that I need to do, the energy of my second house flows so much better. Okay, it just works, right? And also understanding that when we're talking about the dynamics of Pluto, which is Scorpio for the conversation, Pluto and Saturn work well together. What I mean is, the more you are disciplined to what you need to be doing, the more you are structured, the more you are staying on top of your restrictions and the organization that you have, your inner authority, using your inner authority vibration, the easier it is for you to change. The easier you want to change, right? Why am I saying that? So using me for an example, going to work out, I can physically see my changes. I can see my body doing what it needs to do. Okay. And because I can see that, when it comes down to any other thing that I need to do as it relates to my Scorpio placements, it makes it easier because I'm already working in my discipline. I'm already working in that. So one of the things that I want you guys to work on to help out with this Pluto eclipse energy, this Scorpio eclipse energy, this full moon and Scorpio energy, is working in your Saturn dynamic. Okay, because Saturn is also the energy that talks to you to say, hey, you need to be doing this. When your intuition comes and say, you know what, you need to go on a detox, or you need to go work out, you need to go to bed earlier, you need to get off social media, you need to start that business, you need to, work on the business, you need to fine tune, right? All this is Saturn. It's your discipline. It's working for you and working with you. And when that happens, Saturn and Pluto, or Saturn and Scorpio energy, constantly has conversation, just like Saturn and Jupiter constantly has a conversation. So when Jupiter is wanting to bless you or bring more wealth and more things into your vibration, it's going to check with your Saturn dynamics. Same with Pluto, same with the Scorpio dynamics, same with the eclipse energy. This eclipse energy is going to hit you hardest where you have not been using your tools, where you have not been disciplined, where you have not been applying yourself and using your time wisely. All you got is time. You only got 24 hours in a day, okay? What are you doing with it? Are you wasting it away by sitting up watching TV all day? Are you wasting it away by sitting up, not, on social media? What are you doing with your time? Because whatever you're doing with your time is going to also show you what you are rendering in life. Okay. So when it comes down to where you need to change and transform with this eclipse energy, it's also based on what you are structured in, what you are doing for your responsibility. So let's type that in really quickly. Where is your Saturn energy? Where's everybody's Saturn? So Saturn sign, as well as the house that it's in. All right. It's okay. You're going to get it back. Saturn is in Aquarius in the 7th house. All right. Yeah, I be bullshitting a little bit. Not you be bullshitting a little bit. All right. I'm going to start with you, Samaya. All right. So Saturn in Aquarius energy. Now, Saturn, as you see this thing right here, Saturn rules Capricorn and Aquarius, and also rules the 10th house and the 11th house. Okay. So having Saturn in Aquarius energy, it pretty much, it works with that dynamic. Saturn likes Aquarius. Saturn like dealing with Aquarius. Okay. But Aquarius has two planets. One planet is Uranus, which is the rebellion. Okay. I'm rebelling against all this. I don't want to do it. I ain't gonna ever do it. Okay. And Saturn, which is, okay, I need to do this. Okay. So you got to balance that energy out. You got to make sure that you are balancing yourself out as it relates to knowing what you must do and wanting to rebel against it. Okay. 7th house is in the relationship house. Me and you just got through fighting and bickering about this today. Okay. Is the energy of that. It's knowing what to do, but sometimes not want to do that. Want to do something else. And because you want to do something else, then you bump your head. And then when you bump your head, you're like, I see now. I see what that is. Okay. So know that this energy in dealing with the Aquarius first is being on top of the things you need to do when it comes down to your own discipline. Discipline of your time, especially when it comes down to dealing with friends, okay? Or dealing with your circle. When you're dealing with your circle, you need to have discipline with that. You can't always be available to everybody at all times, okay? You just can't. And trying to do that, it's not going to make you disciplined on things you need to be disciplined to. Okay. Same with relationships. You can't be in a relationship with everybody. When I mean relationship, I'm not talking about just love relationships. I'm talking about business relationships too. 7th house is not just relationships of love interest. It's all of them. It's all your relationships, okay? So being disciplined to that, being disciplined to all of your relationships, the people that you give access to, because we are working on the future. You are working on your future. And in order to be structured and dynamic to that, you got to make sure that you are staying on top of your time management when it comes down to those things, okay? Capricorn in the 7th house. Saturn in Capricorn, the 7th house. Okay, so Saturn again loves Capricorn just like it loves Aquarius. Okay, and the Capricorn also has to do with family dynamics. It also has a lot to do with the energy of, again, just being disciplined, using your money wisely. Because like I said, Capricorn is the drawer and the accounting of the money, right? And this is also making sure when we talk about the 7th house dynamic, this is, again, partnerships, relationship dynamics, okay? So how you then use your energy of Capricorn dynamics in your relationships, okay? Being more structured with your time, being more disciplined with your time and your energy, okay? Why? Because the more you are structured and disciplined to that, the less you are finding yourself in relationships giving what you don't have it to give. Okay, what I mean, don't have it to give. If you haven't given it to yourself, you don't have it to give. I don't care how much abundance and overflow you think you have. You don't. Okay. Saturn Aquarius. So the same energy I just told Samaya for you, Erica, but in the 12th house is where you are resisting to change. Okay. So some parts of it, Saturn loves Aquarius, but again, Aquarius also has a rebel side. So in some of those spaces where you need to release attachments, because 12th house is where we sometimes get caught in our attachments, not wanting to let go of those things. So when you find yourself in that energy of it, you know what I'm saying? It's also understanding that you need to let it go, because the more you let it go, you can come out and do more. Okay. Part of the thing that I also told you this, again, for those of you that have the Aquarius energy, this is the age of Aquarius. So y'all need to come out. You need to be seen. You need to do more. Okay. So sharing your stories of triumph and things that you've had to get through is only going to help benefit the age. Okay. So do what you need to do when you're out on social media or just out in life. You need to share more. You need to do more. So listen to what Spirit is telling you on what you need to have more discipline and responsibility in, and do that. Don't allow your feet to be stuck. The 12th house is also the feet. Okay. So dancing, moving, right? The more you dance and the more you move, it allows you to shake some things up. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even, because Erica, I know you are also doing some things with dancing. So maybe this is also you doing some dancing online. You know what I'm saying? Like showing us how you actually do move through this energy, right? Not being afraid to show us all the parts of you, right? And then allowing that energy then to feed into the energy as it relates to your discipline. But be disciplined with it. Structure it out, okay? Cap in the 1st house. All right. So Saturn discipline in the 1st. We already know what that is, comfort. You tell me, comfort, what does that mean?
Okay, so it's giving oh, that I have to be mindful of how I see myself, and discipline myself against habits that don't serve me, and not over giving myself to other people's, especially in partnership dynamics. That'd be what I be getting, but it depends on where the moon is at.
Yeah, depending on where everything get dealing with you. But the 1st house dynamic is also understanding that the discipline also comes from how you show up, right? Not showing up and feeling like you got to do everything when you do show up, right? Because that Capricorn wants to do that. It wants to, oh, let me do this and let me do that. Taking care of yourself is very important, okay, to your structure and your discipline. Because when you're trying to do everything for everybody else, it throws you off. You're not on your time frame. You're not doing what needs to be done when it comes down to that. So being mindful that as we're moving through this energy of what this eclipse is asking us to do, which is to step in power, the more you step into discipline and step into the energy that you need to step into with yourself, is going to give boost to that and give rise to that. But if you are still doing everything for everybody when you show up, right? Being that Capricorn energy, oh, let me buy this, let me pay for that. I could do it. No, you can't. No, it's not the time to do that. Okay. Take care of what you need to take care of first. Be disciplined with the energy, right? And when you're disciplined with the energy, you can draw more in. When you draw more in, then you allow spirit to tell you what you need to show up and give. Don't just show up and give. And then when you do too much, now you got expectations on people pouring that back into you. It don't work that way. Okay. All right. Virgo in the 12th. So Sherry, I got Saturn in Virgo too. So this is just, again, Virgo has a lot, even though Virgo has everything to do with the Mercury energy. I feel like Virgo loves dealing with Saturn because it's very disciplined, right? So it's just being more disciplined, and also, again, not being resistant to let the things that are holding your feet hostage, letting them go. Okay. So that means working with it. The more you go to the gym and work out, the more you allow yourself to have better mental health, the easier it's going to be for you to release those things as it relates to that. Okay. So get more discipline. I know I'm already working with you, so I know you're already doing the work that you need to do, but this is just reminding you to stay on your discipline task as it relates to Virgo. Create the list. Okay, same for you, Marcel. So I'm segueing to you and with Sherry. Create the list. Okay, every day when y'all wake up, you need to have a list. What are you doing today? What are you processing today? Okay, because by processing that, it allows you to know what it is that you need to get done. Okay, when you can get those things done, then guess what you're doing? You are operating on time management. So a lot of the people that we are seeing now that is having all of this eclipse energy fallout, it's not disciplined. They're not following the Saturn. They're not working in the Saturn dynamics, because if they were, they would be too busy getting things done to where all the stuff that's not happening, it's not even, you can't even focus on that because you're too busy focusing on what you need to get done, right? But when you don't, when you are in the rebellious state, don't want to do it, don't want to use your tools. The moment any eclipse energy happens or anything shift happens, comes in, you are all over the place. You don't even know where to go. The reason being is because you're not being disciplined. So make the list. When you make the list, Sherry and Marcel and Gigi, is going to allow you to see more of what you need to do and how you need to make those things happen. So you're not feeling stuck or blocked. You know what I'm saying? Especially for you, Sherry, in the 12th. Marcel, for you in the 9th house is also, again, managing that energy of your spiritual practice and the things that you need to do. So whatever your daily rituals are, being disciplined to that. So if you have to write them down until you get them, you know what I'm saying? I know you've been doing your breath work. So getting up, starting with your breath work in the morning, going into your workout, you know, the things that you need to make sure that you're handling before 12 p.m. All these things is what's going to allow you to feel more in balance, so that when the eclipse come and say, I'm about to take this out because you no longer need it anymore, you're like, good. I've been doing the work anyway, so I'm cool with that. Okay. Saturn and Taurus in the 6th house. So Saturn energy in dealing with Taurus, again, it's one of those things where, you know, Taurus gets fixed, okay? And when it gets fixed, sometimes it just don't want to process and do the things that need to be done. So Taurus is discipline in dealing with the Taurus energy is discipline with your food, discipline with, you know what I'm saying? Again, you're giving and those things as well. Discipline with sex, discipline in all the vibrations. And because it's in the 6th house, these things are going to affect your digestive system. So when you start to feel that you are not disciplined to all the things that comes along with Taurus and the management of that Taurus energy, it's going to affect your digestive system. And that's how you know that you're off. So get more in alignment to those things that you need to get in alignment to, making sure that you have a pretty good balanced diet, right? Eating the things that are of luxury, okay? Eating more expensive foods, not eating cheaper foods. I'm sorry, it's Taurus. So it has an extravagant taste. Okay. So having those things, but not overindulging in them, especially when it comes down to the emotion energy, because when it comes down to the emotional energy, Taurus will overindulge. Okay. Overindulgence is going to equal digestive system issues. So making sure you are working out, making sure you are stretching or doing some physical activity to allow you to come into balance. And also creating a list, because it's in the 6th house, creating a list will also help you to stay in balance. Okay. Okay. Sag in the 7th house. Okay. Who is this for in particular? BPM. I come down to it. So Saturn and Sag, It's again one of them spaces where anytime we're dealing with Sagittarius, we're dealing with the balance of the mind, meaning like your spiritual practices and your physical practice. I always say wherever Sag is, you got to be a little bit spiritual and a little bit ratchet. And when I mean ratchet, meaning having a space where you doing your shit, you popping off, you doing that thing, but you also need to make sure that you do your spiritual practice first. In the 7th house is maintaining that energy. Okay, maintaining that in the 7th house, in the house of relationships. You got to know that you got to maintain your own practice of spirituality, as well as your own practice of making sure that you are loose and allowing yourself to feel free. Okay, Sagittarius energy is also ruled by Jupiter energy. So there's also not being afraid to be big when it comes down to these relationships and these partnerships, challenging these relationships to be bigger. Okay, challenging yourself to be bigger inside of these relationship dynamics. Okay, Saturn in Leo in the 11th house. Okay, Saturn in Leo energy, again, it's a fixed placement. So when we talk about Leo energy, we're talking about the stage. Okay, so that means being on the stage, but also knowing that what comes along with being on the stage is also making sure that you're doing the work before you get there. Okay, what is the work? Leo rules the heart chakra, or just the heart dynamic period. And it also rules, again, you healing the heart. So making sure that you are working on the dynamics of your healing so that you are just not jumping into things and not being clear, especially when it comes down to those same dynamics. Earlier, we talked about the 3rd house as it relates to being in the intellectual conversation of the friends. Now the 11th house is actually being around friends. So now this is discipline when it comes down to being in spaces with friends. Okay, not feeling like that you have to tone your shine down when you're around them. No, tone up. Do what you need to do. Be disciplined. So don't do anything that goes against yourself. If spirit tell you don't do it, don't do it. I don't care how many times they may ask you. The answer is no, okay? Because you need to make sure that you're showing your disciplined spaces, especially when you're in your house of friendships or in that house of friendships, okay? I have been having good. Southern Capricorn, where do I find the house? Well, it depends on what chart you are looking at. If you're looking at your cafe astrology chart, it should be on the right hand side. So you'll see Capricorn, or if you tell me what your rising sign is, I can tell you what Capricorn is. All right, Saturn and Libra in the 6th house. Saturn and Libra, balance again to relationships, balance to yourself versus what you do for other people. 6th house dynamic is all about the energy of the house of health too. Okay, so the more you are in balance to who you are for self versus trying to be everything you can be for friends and be everything for the relationships that you have, it affects your digestive system. So when your digestive system is off, you're doing too much. Okay, Saturn in Cancer. So Saturn energy in Cancer is being very disciplined to your feelings and your self-care. Okay, that means up your self-care. The more you up your self-care and get disciplined to what that looks like, it makes it easier for you to do and nurture the energy for everybody else. You cannot nurture people if you have not nurtured yourself. Do what you need to do for you first and let that be an example to everybody else. Okay, so find discipline in that, the balance of taking care of self and not want to take care of everybody else, because you can tend to do that. Okay, in Pisces, I don't know how to figure out what house. Look at your very first birth chart. It should be in that perspective. Okay, Saturn in Pisces is watch your vices. Watch your vices, meaning like watch your weed, watch your liquor, watch your drugs. You know what I'm saying? Because Pisces like to escape. And they escape on all those things, okay? So when I mean escape, they like to run away from things and not deal with it. So as long as you are managing that energy and vibration of how the Pisces energy is feeling, being disciplined to the Pisces vibration. What is discipline to the Pisces vibration? Taking care of yourself, saving yourself. Pisces like to save people, save yourself. So when you saving yourself, you can let everybody else see the example of how you are saving yourself. Okay, but not trying to physically save them. And then when you do that and they push you out, then you feel in some kind of way, and then you want to go and escape and feel like somebody did something to you. You know what I'm saying? They have done something to you, but this is the universe teaching you the lesson of stop saving everybody else, save yourself. Okay. I saw you doing that, comfort, doing everything. Right. Go away from me. Go away from me with this Apollo. It's a need reminder, I've been avoiding this. Okay, Gaia. So yes, did you hear what I said? Okay, Saturn in Capricorn, and I'm a Scorpio rising. So that means if you're a Scorpio rising, that will make, in the 7th house, will make you have Taurus there. So let me see. Sometime I need to write it down. So it's in the 3rd house. Am I right? Wait, Scorpio in the 1st, Sag in the 2nd. Yes, 3rd house. So when you are in spaces of intellectual conversations with people, or in the spaces of people that you're around, and 3rd house can also be siblings too. So this could be brother, sister, all of that, or it could also just be the intellects that you're having with people who are close to you, like they are siblings, right? And understanding that in this energy, again, you can't do more for other people than you do for yourself. All right. It's very important that Capricorn energy recognize that, because Capricorn is one of the most, along with Scorpio, is one of the most supportive energies. It loves to do. And because it loves to do, sometimes it does it at the detriment of itself. And then it has all these expectations. Okay. So watch your expectation energy as it relates to siblings, or as it relates to the people that are around you that you talk to on a daily basis, that you give that energy to. Can you ask about that placement? But you can.
Okay, so when you were interpreting that, I was also interpreting that, like, listen to your gut when people are just talking just to talk, and don't jump in to help, because those people are just like, you're going to want them to take action on what you said, because you really do be speaking some real solid truth to help people move forward. And sometimes people don't want to get that. Would that be like an interpretation of that placement too?
Yeah,
I'm not necessarily talking about this person, but I just was wondering for educational purposes.
It definitely can be, especially with the space of the expectation part of it. Like I said, Capricorn loves expectations. And because it does love expectations, sometimes when it is showing up for people, that energy of what you just said, of I need you to take on what I just said. And if you don't take on what I said, then I'm not going to show up for you anymore. It's that energy. It's almost like feeling entitled to the fact that I know more about this, or I'm giving you what has worked for me. So why wouldn't you want to take that? Right? What I love about the Capricorn dynamic is it kind of sometimes can show up as a mother, but a stern mothering energy, right? And because of that, in the 3rd house energy and it's having conversations, it can feel like it is superior in that space. So yes, to that, some of the stuff that you said, definitely. But one of the things that I want y'all to focus on in the Capricorn energy, as long as you are doing for you first, and like you said, listening to spirit, a lot of the information that Capricorn get does not come from people. It comes from spirit. So because it does come from spirit, it's very important that you are listening to your intuition first, above all things. So when you are listening to intuition first, that energy in itself is going to show you what you need to do and what you don't need to do. That is the discipline. That is the managing of your time, right? Because not everything needs to be said. Even though you may want to say it, sometimes it's not the time to say it. Okay? Yes. Be feeling that by myself. Great. All right. So y'all got that. So quickly, I'm going to talk about just as Jupiter moving into Taurus energy. I think it's very important. The next class is going to actually go over that. Let me see. Yes. All right. So the next class is going to be about that. Why? Because I feel like, just like we talked about the Jupiter energy moving into Aries, I feel like it's really important to understand that the Taurus placements that we just finished talking about. So meaning that the Mercury retrograde energy that we talked about as far as Taurus is getting you kind of prepared for this. What I mean is kind of prepared for this, meaning wherever your Taurus placements are, Jupiter is going to be having a conversation there. So for example, I have Taurus in the 10th, right? So for me, I've been working hard, y'all. I've been putting in work for years, okay? And there's so many things that are starting to open up as we get closer and closer to Jupiter and Taurus, okay? So meaning that if you want to know, one of the ways in which you can draw money through is following how Jupiter is moving. So when Jupiter is moving, it just got through moving through Aries. So meaning it gave a boost to some of our Aries placements. It don't mean it rained down consistently on your Aries placements, but it means it put a boost of energy in there. It brought in more attention, more exposure as it relates to the pioneering energy with that. So wherever the Aries energy was, you got a little light. You got a little Jupiter boost into those things. So now Jupiter's going to move into Taurus, and wherever your Taurus placements are, so whatever you've been going through within Mercury retrograde, is very important for you to go and revisit the energy surrounding your Mercury retrograde placements, meaning whatever you have in Taurus. Okay, I'm not going to ask y'all to put on again where you have in Taurus. You just need to circle where you have Taurus energy. Wherever you have Taurus energy, that's where you're going to study, because when Jupiter moves into Taurus, the day after retrograde ends, again, the universe is precise. Okay, it is precise. Retrograde ends on the 15th. Jupiter moves into Taurus on the 16th. Do y'all think that's coincidence? No, it's not coincidence. So all the things that you're reviewing right now about yourself, the pressures that you're feeling with this Mercury retrograde and Taurus energy, is only making you clear so that when Jupiter moves into Taurus, it's going to give you a boost there too. And when I mean boost there too, is going to bring in some revenues in one way or the other. Revenues don't always mean money, y'all. I just told you I like saying money because I just like the word. Don't always mean money. It can be people that is bringing into your life that have money or have opportunities for you. Okay. One of the things that opened up for me was a friend of mine who's also working on some dynamics of something. And in that dynamic of her working on some dynamics of something, she was like, you know what? I think this will be great for you. Okay, this is something that this is a benefit to me. This is a Jupiter Taurus benefit. Okay, so know that some benefits are about to open up. You have to be ready for that. You know what I'm saying? Ready for that looks like, again, what is the Mercury retrograde in Taurus dynamic talking to you about? Because whatever it is talking to you about is going to give you the boost of that. It's going to bring you more energy into that. So study the energy, study the Jupiter energy in Taurus, okay? And the themes of that, you see it says themes around money management, low risk investments, commitment, creativity, fertility, pleasure, all these things, okay? But depending on where it is for you. For me, it's in my 10th house. I have no Taurus planets. All I have is Taurus in the 10th, okay? So where is Taurus for you? Wherever Taurus is for you, that's what this energy is going to, again, illuminate for you. We're going to have in the next class about it. The next class is going to cover all the things dealing with that, okay? As well as I'm going to start touching on the energy of us shifting. I touched on it on last class. We're going to go in depth with it about this North Node changes. So again, the eclipses that we're having this year on Taurus and Scorpio is where our nodes are, okay? Our North Node energy is in Taurus. Our South Node is in Scorpio. So these eclipse energies are also dealing with that. So as we shift into July, we're going to change those nodes, and those nodes are going to shift into North Node Aries, South Node Libra. Okay, so this is just giving y'all a introduction to this, and we'll get into those things later. All right, so that's it. We're gonna wrap it up. So any quick questions that I can answer before I let y'all go? Going once, going twice. All right, well, that's a wrap. That's a wrap for class. You're going to get your playbacks tomorrow. Okay, if y'all got any questions after we, y'all go back and listen to this and do your studies, I always tell y'all to reach out to me. Okay, send me an email or send me, anything that you need to send in order for me to help you to process this. This eclipse energy is powerful. It's not scary. It's not fearful. You're not losing anything. You are changing, you are transforming. You need this transformation. You need this transformation. Again, you need this transformation. Why? Because it's getting you to luxury. You're getting everything that you want. So as you find yourself separating from these things, that's what you need to make sure that you are conjuring for yourself. You need to make sure that you're saying that I'm getting everything that I want. Everything is in alignment to me. Okay. Everything is giving me exactly what I've been asking for. Boom. That person left. Okay. Our story is over for right now. It don't mean it's over forever. Okay, that job left, boom, it's opening up opportunities for me to have that. Oh, this is getting low, boom. Everything is opening up opportunities for your power. Okay, now I'm gonna watch all of y'all. Next 24, 48 hours, I'm gonna be on y'all social medias. So just know when you see me liking and hearting stuff, it's because I'm watching. I want to make sure that you are using this energy for power. Okay, because that's what it is. Y'all got me? Nod your heads. All of y'all that got y'all camera on, just nod your heads. Okay. Those of you that don't have y'all cameras on, put it in the chat. Do y'all hear me? Do you hear me? Taju, do you hear me? All right. Do y'all hear me? Hold on. What conversation? Oh. Yes, yes. That's what I'm saying. This is good. Let this stuff happen to you. Let this, when snakes have to get new skin, it's scrubbing. So it may not feel always great. Today, listen, when I tell y'all today has been one of them days for me, I am literally pushing through, you know what I'm saying? But I'm grateful that I have the energy to do it. I'm grateful for where I am and what I got going on. And even more is coming to me. You know how I know it's coming to me? Because I am not resisting the energy. I'm doing the work. Continue to do the work. I'm so proud of y'all. I thank y'all for showing up for yourselves all the time for class. And I thank y'all for showing up for me, because as more as y'all come, y'all let me know that I need to continue to do this. You know what I'm saying? When y'all stop coming, that means I know it's time for me to transition into something else. Okay. But as long as y'all here, I'm going to be here. So use me if you need to. And what I mean by that is, as you are studying, don't send me no questions that y'all don't be like, now you supposed to know this already. Okay. But I want y'all to use this energy, study, and send me your questions and let me help you. Allow me to assist you to make sure that you are maximizing on this energy. Do your rituals. What I mean ritual work is manifest with your words. Say what you want. Do not say what you don't want. I don't care what it looks like. Say what you want, say what you need, and everything else will be in alignment. Okay. I love y'all. Because kisses. Y'all enjoy y'all tonight. Study, enjoy your eclipse tomorrow, and then I'll see y'all soon. Okay. Bye.
Thank you, Gigi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
You're welcome. Good night. Don't forget y'all Saturn. Do that Saturn.